Hello there guys, welcome back to another C# tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to talk about public and private. So first things first, I'm going to start a new project here. So I go to File, select a new, and there's going to be a new project. It's going to be C# project. Wait a second, choose C# and then cancel application as you can see here. Okay, and I'm going to say okay. Okay, so this is a new project, no problem with that. Next, I'm gonna add a single class. Okay, I'm gonna call it person class again. Person class. I don't want to use the old code because I want to rebuild things in case you just didn't check the previous tutorial, so you can continue without any problem. So the thing we used to do is writing something like this: string, a public string, person name, semicolon, and public string, or let's say integer, person age, semicolon. Okay, and in our main program we wrote something like the following: person class p equals a new person class. Okay, I didn't create any method, but I want to show you something here. So I'm gonna say p dot person age equal 30. Okay, and p dot person name equals Smith. Now this program just fills this object, doesn't do anything at all, and when we run it, it gets compiled and executed without any problem. So far so good. However, in some cases you want to use some variables in your class, but you don't want other than your class to use them. So for example, let's say I'm gonna say private and salary. Okay, semicolon. Now have a look at this one. What do you see here? You can see that there's a keyword. It's called private. Okay, in the previous case we used public. Okay, now let's see if we can access the object right now. Access this property. If you look to the values in Intel Sense, you don't see the salary here, but I'm gonna try to write it anyway. Salary equal 100, something like that. Okay, and now I'm gonna try to run the program, and you get the following: there were build errors, would you like to continue, blah blah blah. Okay, so if you check the error, let me show the error here. Sorry, this column's quite narrow. Let us make it a little bit wider. Come on, there we go. You can see here, console application 1.person class dot salary is inaccessible to its protection level. So what does that mean? It means that when you wrote the keyword here private, it means that this salary variable is private to the class. The only part of your code that can access this variable and modify its value is the code inside this very class only. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now you might be asking, well, the program is part of my code. Well, it is, however, it is not part of that of the person class. Okay, so how do you solve this issue? How can you write values to this variable if it is private? Well, let me show you here. We're going to change the way we are working with things here and prevent the user from accessing the name and the age directly, and make things work a little bit in a direct way. So I'm going to make this one private and this one also private. Okay, now obviously if we try to run the code now, the previous code, it won't work at all, and it didn't work. Okay, you get two errors. one for accessing person age and one for accessing person name. These are private variables, so you cannot access them. So how do you solve this issue? Well, we're going to create a constructor. So this is going to be person class pname string pname and string page. Oh, sorry, this is integer page. Okay. Okay. Now what's gonna happen here? I'm gonna say this dot person name. By the way, check this out. Let me show you this dot. You can see there's a small lock next to the blue cube, right? It means this is a private variable, so only the class itself can access it. Since this function or method is part of the class, you can access this without any problem. So here this is going to be equal to pname, no problem, and this dot person age, same thing here, equal p age, no problem. Okay, so now if we want to fill the values, you can use the constructor. So here there's going to be Smith followed by 30, so you can see pname and page, no problem there. Okay, now if we run the code, let's see if this works. It gets compiled and the screen flashes right away, no problem. Let us create a print method to see the values. So public void print console.writeLine. The name is plus person name and the age is plus person age to string. Okay, that's it. So let's go here. I'm gonna say after we create and fill the object, we'll do p.print, okay, and then console.readLine because we want to see what's gonna appear on the screen. Okay, so let's run this. The name is Smith and the age is 30. Now let us try to access the value person name. As you can see, the IntelliSense doesn't show the property because it's a private, it can't see it. So I'm gonna say something like that. Okay, and we try to run and we get an error, right? If we go back to the code and we just change this one into public, this means anyone can access this variable and the code's working. Okay, anyway, so the point of this was to show you only what the keyword private and public does. Now, since we know now what this does, you might be asking, well, what kind of use do I have for this? Well, basically controlled access to variables. Okay, you don't want, for example, in number of cases when you are creating larger programs and you are creating components, you don't want other developers who are using your code to change variables in any way they want, because these changes could have some undesirable consequences. So one way to do it is to use private variables to prevent them from modifying stuff in the wrong way. Okay, so in the end, the code either runs fully correctly or doesn't run at all. Okay, so this is the very basic idea. Now let's go back. I want to show you something here. Now check this out. What do you see here before the function? You can see there is a public method, right? I'm gonna replace this with the private. Okay, and I'm gonna run this code and again I'm getting an error. It's similar to working with variables, but check this error. Cancel application one person class dot print is unacceptable due to its protection level. Now, since this method is preceded with the keyword private, the program cannot access it. Okay, you cannot access a method that is private or a variable that is private. This is very important. Okay, so I'm gonna restore this one to public. Okay, let us run this one again, and again you can see it's working. Okay, now another question: why do you need private methods if you are not gonna use them? Well, private methods, you as a programmer, you might not use them, but the class itself might need to use these private methods, okay, for its intermediary work or something like that. Okay, so there are few cases when you need some features like that. Okay, yeah, so this is the basic idea behind public and the private. It's all about controlled access to variable. Public, it's like let's say a public place where everyone can access that place, and the private is like your own room that no one's allowed to enter it except for you. Okay, you can think about it like that. Okay, so that's enough talk about public and the private for today, and tomorrow we're gonna have a look at what happens when you have a private variable and you do is an inheritance, because it have some effects. Okay, yeah, so thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.